Hey folks, welcome to this episode of Profit Easy One. I'm going to talk about another herb that I haven't mentioned on here before. In fact, over the years I've only sold a few, yet people were ordering it from me and questioning me, so I did a lot of research and now I'm using it. In fact, I had some earlier. Right now I'm having some immune tea because it's when I woke up with a sore throat, so I just want to cover it. But earlier I had some of this herb that we're going to talk about. And here it is right here. You see the name there? Ashwagandha. Basically, Indian Ginseng. Like I think back when I first got into business, it used to go by a different name. One of the other ginsengs, for political correctness, they had the name changed of it. But uh, yeah, I just did a couple of videos, one on ear candling. Unfortunately, I've uploaded it and it's only showing up on private. So I'm gonna have to go spend some time and try to re-edit it and get it public so y'all can see it. So you can learn about ear candling as a means of removing wax from your ears. Uh, okay, I'm looking at all these different herbs here. Wow, I hope to get into more videos for you. Maybe covering one or two or three different herbs at a time, or covering certain diseases and what you can do for them. But for this one, we're going to cover the ashwagandha. Now, here's the thing. My buddy AJ, when I was telling him about it, after doing a lot of research, which I'm going to get into here, you're going to want to hear some of this stuff. Yeah, this is an amazing herb with lots and lots of clinical studies. But I called my friend and he already takes it. And I said, well, what do you have? Are you taking a standardized product? And he actually had two bottles. Two bottles of capsules. One was from Swanson, and one was from CVS or some other major pharmacy. Well, I had him look for the word standardized product on there. He wasn't seeing it. Uh, Yet all of a sudden he was confused because the drugstore one recommended they were in 700 or 800 millimeters and milliliters, I guess, and they recommended one a day. Whereas the one from Swanson was 1700 or 1300, I believe, and they recommended two a day. So both of us wondered what's wrong with this picture. Well, I ended up at his house because he did go ahead and get some of the real stuff. And I looked at his bottles. Yeah, he doesn't have the real stuff. He's got one has a standardized some standardized extract in it, which means it doesn't even have the actual plant, which is what this is. This is a ground up root. That's what this is, the actual plant. Uh, so anyway, once he saw all the stuff that was in there and how it wasn't really the real thing, now he's got this. And this surprisingly goes a long way. This bag's relatively thick, doesn't look that tall. Well, there's a lot in here. You only need to put a little bit. But let's get into some stuff about ashwagandha and why that I'm talking about this particular herb right now. Now, this is generally something that, oh, there's my neighbor. He sold his house up north, or his dad had passed away, his father-in-law. So they paid cash for this place next door. He bought himself a Jeep, his wife a new car, and he bought him a weed blower. This guy's out here 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, wow. A little bit OCD or whatever you call it. Definitely. 2 or 3 times a day. He's just out there with that whiny blower blowing everything off. All right. So get back to this. Now, like I said, it's a Ayurvedic medicine, which means this is one that the Indians are very fond of. Normally you got your Chinese medicine, the Indians, it's Ayurvedic. Um, and they have some pretty good things, although I don't agree with a lot of their philosophies because they're based on yoga and, where the power is in your body and hot and cold and a lot of things. But this is a real good herb. Like I said, they call it Indian ginseng. Now, there's a couple of names that they associate with this over there. One of them is Balya, which means increased strength. Also, Bajikara, which means aphrodisiac, and rasaya, leads to long life. So these are some of the terms that Indians use to refer to ashwagandha. And there's good reason for all those things too. Uh, it really helps a lot with stress. And I hope we'll cover some of that in here and as to how and why. Uh, and it's a very good antioxidant that works on your brain too to help with oxidation. So that will help you with, like I said, leads to long life. Can help protect you from diseases, poisons, that sort of thing. Now, this has been very, very well studied. Ashwagandha has had lots and lots of clinical trials, and we'll get into some of that stuff here. But one of the things that they claim that it does is that it builds muscle and strength. And that's why my buddy used it, because he's a bodybuilder. He used to own a gym up north, and he loves to go to the gym and work out and take a lot of good things for him. But that's because it it affects some growth hormones in your body that cause that to happen. That'll help you to build more muscle. And we'll get into more of that here. Um, and so it actually ashwagandha fights both physical and chemical effects of stress. And part of the way it does that is it limits your body's production of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, the fight or flight hormone. So by suppressing that, it helps to keep you calmer. You don't get this adrenaline thing. Yeah, it's what they call an adaptogen. So it helps you to deal with those things. Uh, like I said, suppresses the stress hormone cortisol. Now, here's another thing about it, though. Because like one of the names they use is aphrodisiac and balya, increased strength, vahikara. Hope I'm pronouncing these right. Um, it will increase testosterone. Now, the funny thing about it is that with women, it doesn't generally do that. Where some of these other herbs that do increase testosterone, if a woman takes it, it's going to increase her testosterone too. But for some reason, with the ashwagandha, they're not seeing that happen. And if so, it's happening very little. But what I got is that it doesn't with women. Um, it's loaded with phytochemicals. And see, these plants, a lot, they have phytochemicals. And those help us because what these chemicals are things such as, let's say, a plant. Well, they're things that the plant makes to fight stresses or disease in the plant itself. Whether it be keeping insects from coming, it may put off some kind of a chemical that's an odor or tastes bad to the insects. It may do things, all kinds of things to protect it, to fight disease and stuff. Well, when we get those in us, it helps us with those things too, these phytochemicals. And like I said, ashwagandha is loaded with it. They say that there's 40 steroidal lactones in it. See, in the steroids, that's what helps you to build the body. That's what helps to release those growth hormones and stuff. And that's testosterone is a hormone. So this got 40 steroidal lactones in it. That's a lot. I mean, I know a lot of other things that have that sort of stuff in them. Sarsaparilla, maybe saw palmetto, but this is a lot, 40. And your body uses those to kick in other things and to make things happen in your body. They're good for you. All right, let me see. It's supposed to help with some swelling. Definitely helps with the free radicals. Like I said, it's loaded with these phytochemicals, and it's an adaptogen. Um, and I don't want to get too deep, but it does affect the mitochondria that causes certain good things to happen and to help keep DNA from being destroyed. All right, now, it reduces inflammation. And here's the thing, the scientists don't know why, but you know what? They don't know how Tylenol works either. Yeah, they made it, they're selling it to you. They know it works, but they don't know how Tylenol works. So, yeah. Now, here's the thing, too. I would not call this an overnight miracle for any particular condition. Uh, Now, I'm taking it today. I had it a little while ago with some other herbs, and that's maybe the fifth time I've taken it now. But I've actually noticed differences that I really don't want to get into here. I did with my friend, but yeah, I think it's making some differences. And even one of my main suppliers, I asked her what she thought about it. She said, "Well, I take it every week." So that answered my question right there. And now, like I said, I didn't put it in this because I don't want to take too much of it. I just had some. This is my third cup of herbs today. I had some bilberry earlier. I just wanted something different from coffee. Then I did have some Nesquik with a little coffee in it, and the ashwagandha and a little honey. And now I'm having, because of this throat, some of my immune builder because it works just like if you were taking, actually even better than if you were taking antibiotics. Yeah, in place of when they've given me scripts for antibiotics in the past when I had the arsenic poisoning, I didn't even use them. I just drank this tea, and they were amazed at how quickly that infections were gone. All right, let's see. Now it says that it can decrease your blood pressure and heart rate. And like I said, the anti-aging, like it says, leads to long life. Rasaya, that's due to the antioxidants. All right. And I guess if it's slowing down those things a little bit, that's not bad. It might be a good thing. All right, now there's been a lot of studies. Let's talk about some of these studies here. And these were mostly randomized, placebo controlled, double blind studies. Just like many of these herbs have had lots of those studies. Yeah, man, I got some here that we'll talk about sometime in the future. There's way too many here for me to get into, but I'd like to get into some of those and, yeah, educate you on those and what to use. All right, so number one, they were saying strength and muscle increase. Uh, Minor testosterone increases, but like I said, but not in women. It can, uh, it stops the cortisol. And see, and cortisol actually causes muscle breakdown. So by reducing the cortisol and giving you these other steroids, it helps you. Natural steroids are good. Yams have a lot of good natural steroids for bodybuilding. There's steroids in a lot of these plants, but I don't recommend you take those pharmaceutical steroids. So many of them are made from things you don't even want to know about. All right, so like I said, it does help to regulate the cortisol levels, so that's a really good thing. They were showing uh, improvement in sperm count and quality, and they say that it's a nerve tonic. It helps to regenerate your nerves. Now, I have one that I like a lot more. In fact, I sold some to a good friend of mine yesterday because he's shaking like a leaf now because of the things he's gone through in life. And I gave him this herb and I told him 5 days from now, all that shaking he's doing will be stopped. I don't think the ashwagandha would have done that. I don't know. I've never tried it for that, but I have an herb that does stop it. It's actually, according to a very knowledgeable Chinese man, it is the cure for Parkinson's. And I've given it to two people that had Parkinson's, and one doesn't have it anymore. And the other one, I don't know. She had stopped shaking. She was from Spain. Before leaving, she bought another bottle with me and took it with her, and I never saw her again. All right, now, it says that it helps improve cognitive ability, and it'll help you to sleep too. Of course, reducing the stress things and all of that is going to help you to sleep, and it improves cognitive ability, just like a lot of these other herbs here do, like gotu kola. That provides nutrients to your brain. I got blessed thistle here, provides oxygen and nutrients to your brain. I got several others here that all will do things to help work on your brain. But that's one of the things that the ashwagandha does. Now, here's another thing that they said from these studies is that the effects are not long term, and that some of these effects, it takes time. Like I said, it's not an overnight wonder. You're not going to take a dose of it and your sperm count's going to jump by 10 or 15% and your cortisol is going to, stop and all that. But You take it like I'm doing it now. I've been doing a little bit about every 2 days, and I'm doing very little. My bag's over there with my other stuff, but I put in the equivalent of, let's say, if you had two small capsules like that, drugs come in. That's about all I'm putting in. Sometimes a hair more, initially a hair less. I have tasted it straight. It does have a minor bitter taste to it. In fact, the Ayurvedics, the Indians who practice Ayurvedic medicine, they like taking it with licorice. And I'm sure it's not just for the flavor. It's because some of those things in the licorice, I don't recall all of my thoughts on it from the other day, but yeah, they can help and work together. All right, let's see here. What else we got? Okay, it increases the DHEA, which in turn helps to increase the testosterone, like I said, in men, but not in women. And it works through your hypothalamus. So as a result, that works a lot with your thyroid. Now there have been some people that said you shouldn't take it if you have an overactive thyroid, but there's not really been any studies on it. It's just their thoughts that it might affect you. But the thing is about an overactive thyroid, your body can regulate that a lot better than it can an underactive thyroid, unless you're giving it the right things that your body needs. But yeah, if it's overactive, it'll turn itself to underactive to help correct the problem for a while. And it has several compounds in there that work to do all of that. But so this, because it's helping the hypothalamus, which affects hormones throughout your body. Yeah, that's a big thing that your hypothalamus does. And remember, this had 40 of a certain type hormones in it. So it's probably going to be good for it. And it'll give your organs, your hypothalamus, the things that it needs. That's why my THD formula, which I don't have here for the thyroid, that's how it works. It gives the thyroid the things that it needs to do the things it needs to do. You can't send a person out working hard every day and just feed them bread and water and expect them to keep working hard. You got to give them the right nutrients, and then they keep working good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, a lot of these studies were 12 weeks long. The ones, like I said, dealing with the testosterone increase, the hormone increase. Uh, the side effects, very minimal. In fact, the only real side effects that I found from anything was an upset stomach. And like I said, that could be to the bitterness of it. And they recommend that you don't take it on an empty stomach. The only ones that did have the problem with the stomach when they were doing it on an empty stomach. So don't do that. And me, like I said, I'm just dissolving it in some fluids. You could just sprinkle it on some food. And what's surprising to me also is that many of my ground roots and all, they have a lot of oils in them. So when you try to put it in a drink to dissolve it, they don't really dissolve. They float on the top. Well, no, must be that just about everything in this is water soluble because, yeah, I put that powder in there and it pretty much about dissolves on its own. So that's a good thing about it too. And they say it does help to reduce blood sugar too. So yeah, if you're a diabetic, it's probably good for you because it's going to help your thyroid and with hormone productions that your body needs and help reduce blood sugar. Like I said, the other warning they had was on if you have a hyperthyroidism, then you probably shouldn't take it. But like I said, they had no studies on that. It's just what some of them think. So, I don't count that with a whole lot. Let's see. Now, there is a debate with some people whether they should take it in the morning or the evening because certain of these hormones, you're going to get more of them in the morning or you may get the cortisol in the evening. So with some people, uh, taking it late in the evening, it does help them to sleep better. Some people find it more effective to take it in the morning and it helps them get through the day. Uh, yeah, I'm not doing it twice a day when I do it. I'm doing it, like I said, about once every other day. I've been doing it. And I tell you what, I think that I've seen some changes. That's what made me take a little bit more this morning. I'm not going to get into those changes here and now. All right, let's see. Now, they do say that it can interfere with some medications, that it can increase your TN3/4 levels in your thyroid, and that the effects of it can be boosted by green tea. Now, to me, that's sort of surprising because one of the things about green tea, now, there's a lot of things I do like it for, but I don't recommend drinking it too much every day because it keeps your body from developing new capillaries. Now, if you have cancer or something, that's a good thing because your cancer cells like to hide out and they want your body to send more little capillaries, more blood vessels there so they can spread and metastasize to your body. So if you have something that's inhibiting that, then that's going to inhibit cancer. But overall, it's not something you really want to inhibit. But there are plenty of other good benefits. Like I said, it's just not something that I would recommend that people drink twice a day, every day, every day. All right? All right. Now, yeah, more caution. It says that it may interact with sedatives and these medications. All right? So, but they're saying that it may interact. That's what they're saying. Diabetes medications, high blood pressure medications, psychoactive disorders, immunosuppression, and hypothyroidism. Once again, quote, not well studied. Okay, so I look at this. You have diabetes, and it's helping to reduce blood sugar. Now, maybe if you're on the other extreme, then okay, you may not want that. Uh, Psychoactive disorders, yeah, well, I'd want to be off of those meds anyway. I would rather be on things like ashwagandha and St. John's wort and skullcap and certain other things, even the gotu kola. So let's see. And like I said, the hypothyroidism, not well studied. If you're on immunosuppression, well, apparently this is boosting your immune system. So, but from what I see, most of those immunosuppressions deal with having to suppress certain things. And from my study of those things and ashwagandha, I don't think that it's going to really affect that much. But all I'm saying, this is what they say, that it may, there may interact with these things. All right. And by the way, this comes from the nightshade family of plants, same as tomato and some deadly poisonous plants. But this isn't deadly poisonous, all right? This is good for you. And a couple other things about it. And I never did do that. Now, I know St. John's wort, it smells to me like fertilizer when you smell it out of the bag. I'll smell it out of my own bag. But once you make a tea, it loses that smell and that taste. Yeah, here it is here. It's not too bad, St. John's wort, but to me it smells like fertilizer a little bit. This one, the name Ashwagandha means smelling like a horse. Uh, Let me see. And like I said, I've tasted it straight up on my tongue. Has a little bitterness to it. The Indians recommend and like it with licorice. Maybe because it covers the bitterness, but I know there's other reasons for that too. Because of some of the compounds that are in each will probably give us synergism. All right, let me see. It's got a lot of alkaloids, like I say, to help balance the hormones. It is actually, now this is how important it is to the Indians. And like I said, it helps your brain health due to hormonal balance. Very important. I mean, look at women going through the change of life. Their brain gets screwed up from hormonal imbalances. But I guess, sort of end it with this. It is so important in Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia that it's in their top three favorite. Top three favorite, folks. Ashwagandha. So if you want it, I got it. I got to charge you for shipping. I try to work your deal. Like if you're getting, it's going to be like I've said before. It's going to be $4 shipping. And actually shipping has just gone up. I found out from now through the holidays. I doubt that they'll bring it down, but that's what the post office told me. Because I can't believe how my shipping's going up. But It'd be $4 for shipping, and then $6 per bag for each bag you get. So in other words, if you get two bags, you're only paying the $4 for shipping. You're paying $12 for the 2 bags, so it'd be 16. And if you want more than that, then get with me in the comments here or through my email, which I should have posted down here, and I'll work you out a better deal. All right? So that's it. But all I can say is this is now in my pharmacopoeia as far as things that I take on a regular basis. Because I take certain things and I keep like this immune builder. I'm only taking because, yeah, I have a sore throat. I noticed it this morning. Seemed like it was going away. And I noticed it again. So I figured I'd make this. Was going to make my energy tea, which I plan to start making soon. All right, folks, I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope that you'll get some of this and use it. Like I said, I have it for sale here. It's very good quality. This actually comes from India. It's not grown somewhere else because they do grow it in, I think, parts of Africa and a few other places. But no doubt, and everything that we have comes from licensed herbalists over there who know when to pick it, what type of soil to grow it in, all of those things. So, okay, that's it. Other than, like, I got to remind you, be sure to be reading your Bible. Be sure to be humbling yourself to God in prayer. And be sure to be turning away from your sins. By the way, I'm helping somebody's dog right now. And I may end up ordering this book. Because I've had veterinarians. I know that a lot of these herbs have been used to treat dogs and to cure things with dogs. And I've even had a very famous veterinarian in the Keys wanted me to come speak to his whole staff at one point. I didn't do it, but yeah, and I've helped animals. Like if you've seen my videos with the squirrels that come in here, man, this one developed some kind of infection. I think it's because of the pesticides they put in these yards to where she eventually lost use. It was over one of her front legs. And I watched that sore. It was, oh, pestiferous. It was nasty. But we weren't good enough friends where she would approach me at the time. Well, next thing you know, I saw she had a terrible one on her back leg. She was going to lose use of that. Squirrels can't climb trees then. She'd have been in trouble. So I just started taking some echinacea, mixing it in with some peanut butter out there for her, and another squirrel developed it on a leg too. And in no time, those infections were cleared up. Those squirrels became friends of mine, used to come in here and get all up on my recliner with me and stuff in my lap. So yeah, folks, these herbs do work. I'll continue to give you more stuff if and when I can. Like I said, I can't even upload this here. I have to go somewhere to do it. You know, it's a hassle, especially right now, a lot of other things I got to get done. But I'll keep them coming when I can, folks.